Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Camel, but most importantly, welcome back to the Fallout Detective series, a series in which we investigate, curate, speculate, hypothesize, theorize, and quite often simply highlight and discuss cool, interesting, and hidden things that can be found within the Fallout games. Today, we will be taking a look at what I can only describe as a paranoid conspiracy theorist turned almost civil terrorist. You may or may not have run into him before, but at least in my case, I completely overlooked the cool story surrounding this character. So let us journey into the northwestern forests of the Commonwealth, where there is a location named Gorski Cabin. As is made apparent, it is rather isolated and buried deep in the now dead and hauntingly bleached woodland of the hills. A perfect slice of heaven for the hermit lifestyle, escaping the worries of the cities and government. As we approach the cabin, several ghouls will raise from the grass, revealing there is actually about 5 ghouls wandering the property. Behind the turquoise cottage, there is a rusted out car, and what I can only describe as a chimney or an air vent of some description, nestling its roots straight into the ground. Perhaps it's just scraps left over from an oven or some unfamiliar industrial machinery, or perhaps there is something deeper. Out the front of the cabin, down on the ground below the porch, there is a tool of ultimate relaxation, a couch. Adjacent to the arm, we can find a pack of cigarettes, signifying that someone once sat here, smoked and soaked in the full winsomeness of Mother Nature. Or in this specific case, a huge electrical pylon. Making our way up onto the porch, we can find a small plastic table and chair, accompanied by a lantern, a cup, and a bottle of booze. Someone was sitting back and necking spirits up here, while they, once again, took in the magnetic views of the electrical tower. Wandering on, inside the Gorski cabin, will reveal so much more, but at the same time, so little. Firstly, there is a ghoul pacing the floor planks. On the ground is a mattress, where this very ghoul occasionally lies. In the corner is another table with a few scattered stools, some cups and more booze. A poor soul must have been trying to subdue their tribulations with this elixir bourbon. There is also evidence of substance abuse, as we can find some jet on a small coffee table. Pushed up against the back wall, there is a boiler variant of a chemistry station, used of course to cook up all kinds of concoctions. Now in the back corner of this humble cabin, there is actually a steel trapdoor leading down into the ground. This grants access to the Root Cellar. Once we've made our way down the ladder, we will be greeted by an actually rather interesting and well-equipped shelter. Not one that belongs to your standard doomsday prepper, being made quite apparent quite quickly. This bunker was built for survival. There are tools, crates, food and water supplies, meds, a box of ammunition, and there is even a weapons workbench. The person who set this up meant business, or was at least prepared for the worst. Oddly, in the corner there is a bathtub with a toaster in it. These two objects together rile up thoughts of suicide, even to the cliché level. The old toaster in the bathtub trick. Perhaps someone tried to kill themselves, or at least is prepared to do so. I'm unsure. We can head further down into the bunker, and we will do just that. Down, down, down we go. We'll notice a twisting series of electrical cables, ventilation shafts, pipes, and tubing running through the passageways. Soon we'll turn this corner and be greeted by a light in the darkness, and this lovely blue radioactive mushroom. The pipes running along the floor of the tunnel lead to the wall and a junction with what seems to be a very heavy-duty water main. On the wall above it, there is a sign that states, "Restricted area, unauthorized persons keep out," which just makes us want to enter even more. On the other side, there is a toilet, next to which is a radio blasting some swingin' 30s tunes. And just as a little life tip, always take music to the bathroom. It makes life so much better. But most importantly, illuminated dramatically by this single hanging light bulb, we have a door in the middle. Where does it lead? What's on the other side? Let's find out. Behind this mysterious door, a ghoul. Oh wow, how interesting. Well, yes, actually, this school is interesting. A single, once man, now ghoul, stands in the center of a room at the end of a bunker under a small cabin in the middle of nowhere. Like the rest of this subterranean fortress, this final room is well equipped with survival tools and other items. Most interestingly, on the bench in front of the ghoul is an array of rare and most probably highly illegal items. A mini-nuke stabilizer, a mini-nuke hemisphere core, a mini-nuke detonator shell, 2 mini-nuke beryllium caps, and the more tame alarm clock, duct tape, turpentine, and Abraxo cleaner. Call me crazy, but I think someone was trying to build a bomb. A pretty damn serious bomb. Of nuclear power even. And in their basement too. Damn boy. So who exactly is this ghoul? Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Wayne Gorski. Of course, the owner of Gorski Cabin, the location in which we are at. But why on earth was he building a nuclear bomb in his basement? Now that is a question we can answer. In the front corner of this room, there is a desk with a lamp lighting up the front cover of the Wasteland Survival Guide issue 5, highlighting that Wayne Gorski was well into his survival. There is also a bottle cap mine, because the more bang, the better. Most notably, there is a personal terminal, which we will have to hack into, as it has a novice level protection. Once we're in, we can see it is the personal terminal of Wayne Gorski, with one entry, Statement of Intent. This will be my first and only entry. I identify myself as a free-thinking citizen of these once great United States. I will not stand by idly as the government infects the minds of its people with devices like the electrical tower they've erected in my front lawn. I pledge to take down this mind control device by any means necessary, and have begun construction on an incendiary device. If you are reading this, I have certainly been killed or detained in a government interrogation camp. The news will surely warp the truth and brand me a communist traitor. Hashtag fake news. Do not believe their lies. Let all true patriots know that what I do of my own free will and for the good of my country, America. So Wayne here was in full belief that the US government was plotting to, as I quote, infect the minds of its people with devices such as the electrical tower outside his house. Wayne Gorski felt so threatened and believed so strongly in this that he began to build a goddamned nuclear warhead to take down the so-called electrical tower, which he thought to be a mind control device installed in his very front lawn. He also feared being imprisoned in a government interrogation camp, as he states, "If anyone is reading this, I'm either dead or imprisoned in a government interrogation camp." So, now we have a number of questions to answer. Firstly, was he right? Is this electrical tower a mind control device? I personally don't think so. It's pretty annoying, if you lived out in the wilderness by yourself, if the government built a huge electrical tower in your front lawn, but a device to infect the minds of the American people? That's a bit intense. I suppose the one and only piece of evidence pointing towards it being the case is the isolated yet rather dense population of ghouls that can be found at Gorski Cabin. But even then, that's weak as water evidence, as there are many isolated yet dense populations of ghouls found all around Fallout 4. But maybe they're all hanging around this cabin because their minds have been willed to do so. I personally don't think this is the case. Let's just say that you went to court with only that in your defense, you'd be finished. Now his fear of being imprisoned in a government interrogation camp quite obviously is born by the fact that if he blows this thing up, he'll be branded a terrorist. But I was thinking that he may have feared being put in a government interrogation camp before actually doing the act, or at least being locked away before the government knew anything of what he wanted to do. Now this fear may have stemmed from Wayne Gorski having Chinese or a Russian background. Of course, in the Fallout lore, the USA was enemies with China and the Soviet Union. Now, with the last name Gorski, he's definitely not Chinese, but he could be Russian or Ukrainian, which are the only two countries that we know to be involved with the Soviet Union in the Fallout universe. Now, the last name Gorski is said to have originated in Poland and be a Jewish last name. Globally speaking, Poland isn't that far away from the Ukraine or Russia, so it could be possible that Wayne Gorski feared he would be imprisoned because of his Eastern European heritage. If this is the case, I feel that this is a completely irrational fear, but with that said, it's much more rational than the fear of a mind control tower. Actually, let me rephrase that. Fearing a mind control tower is an incredibly rational fear, but thinking the electrical tower in your front yard is a mind control device, that is irrational. But again, with that said, the US government in the Fallout universe did create vaults, which mostly ended up being a way for them to do crazy, inhumane experiments on the people of America. So perhaps fearing the American government for doing crazy, scientific, twisted things on the American people isn't that out of the question. Anyway, Wayne Gorski hated this tower so much, he decided to build a nuclear weapon to raze it to the ground. But how in the hell did he get his hands on these mini-nuke components? Did he build them himself? Or did he source them from illegal trade markets? Perhaps he was ex-military and stole them. I really don't have an answer for that. Also, how the hell did he get these barrels of nuclear waste? It's not something that you can just go down to your local gas station and pick up. Actually, that might be exactly what happened. The Red Rocket gas station, where we meet Dogmeat, is just over the hill from Gorski Cabin, meaning it would have been Wayne's local gas station, which has got a hidden secret underground. Down here, there is a feral and toxic haze, green spores and mushrooms sprout from all cracks and crevices. The area is also highly radioactive. At the end of one of the tunnels, we can actually find a huge, dumped nuclear reactor, hidden away underneath this very Red Rocket station. This spot right here could very well be where Wayne Gorski picked himself up a few barrels of radioactive nuclear waste. Now this might have been how he turned into a ghoul, playing around with all these hazardous materials. If we look up at the air vent on the ceiling, we'll notice there is a vapor with an antique bronze hue, slowly oozing out of this grate. For a man who wanted to protect the American people, he might have just poisoned the local people with his nuclear gas air. This would explain why there are a bunch of ghouls at the Gorski Cabin. They could have very well been poisoned and turned from all this nuclear material and gas spewed out from Wayne's workshop. As we saw earlier, there is an air vent leading to the surface. Now there are also 3 unique companion dialogue lines that will be triggered when you bring the appropriate chums with you to this very workshop. Firstly, we'll bring our favourite mechanical butler Codsworth in with us.
That's one do-it-yourself project I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole.
Secondly, we'll bring our favourite synth detective Nick Valentine in with us.
Huh. If I didn't know any better, I'd think they were trying to build a nuke in here. Oh my god.
Thirdly and finally, we'll bring our favourite living journalist of the Commonwealth in with us, Piper Wright.
Please tell me that's not what I think it is.
And with all that said, I completely agree with them. Now I hope that you have enjoyed the uncovering of this homegrown terrorist, Wayne Gorski. Be sure to let myself and others know what your theories and conclusions are on all of the various questions raised in the name of Wayne Gorski. Was he right to fear the US government? Were these in fact mind control towers, disguised as electrical towers? Or was poor old Wayne an insane conspiracy theorist turned civil terrorist? Did he ironically end up turning his fellow humans into ghouls with his crazed DIY nuke project? subject? Well, if you do have any information, facts, evidence, speculation, theories, or anything to do with Wayne Gorski, or the story told from Gorski Cabin, let myself and others know by leaving a comment down below. If you have any ideas for something that should be covered in a full-out detective series video, be sure to let me know. I'll look into whatever strange and wonderful topics you present. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a kindness and leave a like. It makes the video look good. Be sure to leave a comment with your Fallout detective ideas and your theories on Wayne Gorski. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos similar to this one, please subscribe. It helps me know that people enjoy these kind of videos, and in the long run will result in more of them. Be sure to click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button right here on YouTube, so that you are notified when a new Fallout detective video is uploaded. Other Fallout detective video links can be found in the description. Down there is also a link to my social medias, including Twitter and Patreon. Be sure to hit them up if you would like to support the channel, and follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with what I'm up to. All my time and energy goes into these videos I create for you to watch, so your support is most welcomed and greatly appreciated in any and all forms. Feel free to check out the playlist on screen. Thank you very much for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you very shortly in the next video. I'll see you there soon.